Thank you for the introduction, Dennis. I've been with Dennis for a year and a half now and cannot praise him enough. Thank you again, Dennis, for everything. You give so much to us, so thank you again. Speaking of Dennis, here's an infographic of him. And we're just going to talk about what we've been building the last few months. And Dennis said we've been in the trenches, helping people with their personal brands, teaching young adults how to do these things, and deliver results to their local service business that they work for. And we think that many of you guys in the room will be able to learn from these and take value from these, what we've been doing with these young adults and what we're doing with clients, helping them with their personal brands. So we just wanted to bring up, this is something called the Google Topic Wheel. This is what Dennis has built as a personal branding visualizer, right? So here's Dennis in the middle. And then as this topic wheel, he has these different topics. I don't know if you guys can read these, but managing people, entrepreneurship, mentorship, all these different things that those are his 6 things that he talks about the most. This is what Dennis Yu is an expert in. And then it connects to other people. Where's Caleb here? Caleb's in here somewhere. Yeah. Up here? Oh yeah, right here. So that's actually my first mentor, Caleb Williams, Finding Your Why. He runs a financial institute that's all about finding your why and investing according so. And that's just a cool connection. That's how I met Dennis Yu. But it shows your entire network here, and that's how these connections happen. I would have been way out here. I was brought in through Caleb Williams' content, and then I worked for him. And then through these connections, I met Dennis. So it shows how big your network really is, especially if you're able to build content through that and highlight and visualize those connections that you're creating with the people in your network. So Dennis has created content with all these people, and so he's tapping into this topic, but then also this person's audience talking about that topic. And so that's really how you build up your personal brand, is by connecting with these people and introducing yourself to new audiences.
Yeah, so as Jack mentioned, recently I've been working a lot with these young adults within our program to help their local service businesses, whether that be their parents, their sponsors, whoever it may be. But today we're going to be telling you guys how this applies to you, your personal branding, or if you're working for someone else, helping with their personal branding, how that applies to them as well. And Dennis, throughout the years, has built this thing called the Content Factory, and this is something that we practice and preach about every single day. There's produce, process, post, and promote. In the producing stage, you're, of course, doing what we're doing right now. Up here speaking, of course, we're getting content from this, podcasts, media appearances, whatever it may be. Processing that content. We like to post a lot of content raw, but you can do some minor processing, which we're going to show you how to do very easily with some AI tools in a minute here. Posting across platforms. Of course, we want to turn every single piece of content into many different things, whether that be long-form videos, podcasts, and then, of course, short-form videos, blog posts. There's tons of things you can do. And then promoting. So whether it's through our $1-a-day strategy, we're just putting a very low budget on different content pieces and then finding which ones are performing the best and then continuing to put more on them. There's all the ways to do that.
Yeah, and building on Dylan's point, what we've been working so hard at the last few months is actually making it so that these business owners only need to do the first step. They only need to produce this content, and then AI and our team can do the rest. And we're relying more and more on AI tools that we're building and that we're using and optimizing to be able to fulfill on those last 3 stages of the Content Factory, which is where we're able to deliver a lot of value. And this is what we're teaching these young adults how to do for their parents' business or their friend's business or someone's business that we connect them with. And then they're able to, like the top wheel was showing, highlight the connections in their network that they have or their business leader has, and use this content to be able to drive engagement and drive sales and drive phone calls at the end of the day. That's the whole goal.
Yeah, and as agentic AI gets better with guys like Sam building agents for us and stuff like that, even more of this just gets automated. And so, yeah, what we want to show you guys a little bit is the knowledge graph. So I'll have Jack explain it, and then we can hop into some examples.
So this is a tool that we built that essentially, I'll explain it. So Google has a knowledge graph. They assign a KGM ID to every single entity that Google recognizes. So whether it's any noun, person, place, or thing that Google recognizes, it's like a social security number that it assigns to that thing. So we'll search up Dylan Haugen here. And you'll see Dylan right here has a pretty high trust score. That 259, if you can see that there, 259. Yep. As you can see, Google has assigned him a very high trust score because he has over 100 million views on social networks through his different channels. that he's been working at, which I mean is pretty impressive that he's been able to drive that much engagement. But Google recognizes that and gives it this score, gives him this confidence score of how much Google trusts that Dylan Haugen is who he says he is and what he says he does. It's like it's like a authority score.
Yeah.
And then as you can see here, when you see on Google, here's Dylan Haugen, right? This is what we call a Google Knowledge Panel, actually what Google calls it. But you can see all of his social profiles are linked here. All of his pictures, this is him dunking. He's a professional dunker. Can you believe it? I'm taller than him. And I literally cannot touch the rim. And you should see, you guys gotta search up his socials after this. He can do some crazy stuff. I'm not even kidding, Ed. Like, it's appropriate. Yeah, yeah, I think we should. Oh yeah, let's show him the Care 11 video. So Dylan and I are both from Minnesota. This is like Minnesota's biggest news channel, and he was on the news. So my grandparents are like sitting in the living room, and they're like, "Hey, isn't this your buddy here? Show him when you." Yeah, this reporter got more than he bargained for too.
How tall are you? 5'11". So yeah.
I don't know.
Dunked over the reporter.
Yeah, I don't know if the volume will work there, but
there you go. But whatever. The point is that Google, with all the things, especially like that Care 11 thing, like that was big for me. That's a huge media source, and they linked to me and they talked about me. I was on the news, I was on the website, all that, and so I'm sure a lot of you, if you've been in the industry for a long time as well, have a lot of stuff like that, a lot of stuff that you've done, a lot of people who have talked about things that you've done, and so the biggest thing is just taking all that through the 4-stage content factory to link it all together. We were just talking about this the other day on a training that Dennis and I recorded called kind of like the SEO tree. You have the big topics that you do, then you have the pieces of it, the examples, so very similar to that topic wheel.
And the coolest thing about the 4-stage content factory is if you're a business owner or you're working in a company or corporation, you're already doing the first step just by being on Zoom meetings. We record in our team every single Zoom meeting, and many of them are turned into YouTube videos or articles that we just post raw. Maybe some light processing that we do, but this actually, even though everyone thinks that you need to beautify everything you post and everything needs to be this, I don't even know, it's like the aesthetic bureaucracy in these corporations. But if you can just get past that and just post what the content that you're building, your Zoom meetings, stuff like that, it's huge for your Google confidence score.
Yeah, that's what Dennis has been doing with his new series, and he's got over 1,000 subscribers in a month now, which is absolutely crazy.
We should show that too.
So, do we have anyone who would like us to check out their name in the knowledge graph? What's your name?
So I have a question.
Yep.
I share a name with a famous author. So if we were to put my name in, is it him that's going to pop up, or is it going to be me?
We can see it.
Yeah.
It probably will be him, but we can check it out.
There should be multiple though. If, again, especially if your information is like organized correctly and stuff like that, Google will assign different entities. If he's like truly super famous, then it might be difficult to outrank him and have your knowledge panel show up instead of his. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's impossible, because even if it's an older author who's doesn't have all their stuff organized super well, you can definitely outrank them just by trying, because even if he is like famous, a lot of people still just don't do the content factory and the things we're talking about correctly. So it's definitely possible.
John, Irving, I-R-V-I-N-G.
Is this the one you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, so any of these could be it. This one here with a 67 confidence score. Any of the ones below it as well. The thing is, if we just click on any of these, you can see all the results. And so there's a process of claiming the knowledge panel, but we're not going to show all that today. But if you did look through here, I would look through literally all these. I'm sure there's a ton of them. And so I would just look through all of them, see if the majority of the results on one of them are yours, and then go and claim that. But if it doesn't show up, then we can talk about...
Do you want to show them loosely just what claiming kind of means?
Yeah, so we have an article, we have many articles about it, but if you were to just go to any of them, there's these 3 dots here, and you just click on any of them, and then hit claim this knowledge panel. And there's a process. It's not too hard. You just got to show that you're credible, put media things in there.
And as we showed the Google Knowledge Panel before, a good connection for this is, do you guys remember when Twitter was like, when you had the blue check mark, you were pretty much famous? It was like, it was a big deal to have the blue check mark and be verified. That's essentially what the Google Knowledge Panel is for Google. It's Google's verification. So it's the blue check mark before you could pay for it. That's essentially what it is. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, you can't pay for it, you have to earn it. That's what we always preach about. But yeah, now we're gonna take a specific example of a video that Dennis and Jack actually filmed at a different DigiMarCon, and we're just gonna show you guys how to bring this all the way through that content factoring process super easily. So we're using a tool called Descript, and what you can do with this tool, I actually didn't even take the file of this video and put it in Descript. I just took the YouTube link, and then it can automatically import it into here, which is super cool. And so the next thing that happens is it transcribes the video. So no matter what length it is, it'll always transcribe the video. And you can see, which is super cool. So starts the video, and let's just say we don't like this line right here that says, "Hi guys." You can immediately like chop up a video just by editing the transcript. So it's almost like you're editing an article, and you'll see the cut here. So that's a very easy way to edit it, but of course, it'd be very difficult to go through an entire video like that. And so Descript has built in all these different AI tools that you can easily remove different parts of it. If it's a longer section, you might have to just remember that part and remove it yourself. But very easily, you can get like 99% of the editing done just by these AI tools on the right here. And so the ones that I always do, and this is how we get so much content out, is just clicking here. So the first thing is removing filler words, so it can immediately identify the ums, ahs, all the stuff like that where you might mess up throughout the video, and it identifies all these. We can scroll through if you want to make sure that's not getting rid of anything important, but I haven't had any issues with it at all. So you can see all these are just filler words throughout it, and so now it's found all of them, and then in one click, we can remove all of them. And so that just cut out dead space within the video, filler words, and now it looks like somebody went through and edited this like super profoundly and super in-depth, when in reality it just took us a couple clicks to get rid of all that. And so a couple other ones are shorten word gaps. If you have an awkward pause during the podcast or something like that, you can very easily identify all those. So we're just gonna go 0.8 seconds here. It's gonna find all of them. Looks like it found 56 over 0.8 seconds. And now again, with just one click, we're gonna shorten them all down to 0.6.
And all this is just to demonstrate how easy AI tools make it to polish this content. There's really no excuses for not getting content anymore. You can just record your Zooms, and then you can process them in tools like Descript and ChatGPT and other agents, and then they'll go out and post them for you if you set them up correctly. And so there's no, it really is the magic berry if you guys were here yesterday. Building this personal brand is the magic berry that'll turn your lemon sweet. And now we're just building upon that and showing you how easy it is to build that magic berry for yourself or for someone else, like we teach many young adults to do for a business that they work for. They do it for the business leaders. And so this is all just to show you guys how easy it is. And a lot of times now, when you're producing, that's the only thing you need to do, and then the rest you can automate with AI tools and these agents. And that's what we've been working so hard to do for our clients and teach other people how to do the last few months.
Exactly, and like he said, like the hardest part now is just producing. A lot of people have a very difficult time producing, but you'll see as Jack and I are here, especially as Dennis is here, everywhere he goes, he's filming, he's interviewing some of you guys. I'm sure he's already interviewed some of you, and turning that into actual pieces that will not only help you, but will help him, again, because of that topic wheel. He's reinforcing different topics within his topic wheel. And so another cool thing within this is a new feature that was recently added called the Underlord, which is basically ChatGPT.
Sounds a little spooky.
It sounds weird, yeah. Basically ChatGPT within Descript. So I'm not sure, you guys probably aren't going to be able to hear this very well, but we'll just play it. You guys probably can't hear it, but the point is the audio isn't very great. I'm not sure if they had mics this day, but you can hear stuff happening in the background. It was just filmed like in a hallway. And what we can do is you could just click up here and hit studio sound, but as we were talking about yesterday, you know, a lot of the times when you're doing things that you haven't done very much, you get lost and you forget how to do them. And you can either have agentic AI do it, you can just ask ChatGPT questions by sending it screenshots, or within this, you can just ask the Underlord. So we're just going to say apply studio sound, send. And so this is literally basically an AI agent editing your video for you, because it's going to go in and apply studio sound. And this does take a minute to actually apply studio sound. It's not the Underlord itself. It's any of the other things like finding and removing filler words, it can do all of that. And so I've even experimented with like templates that you can create, you know, what I was just talking about. I like doing the remove filler words, remove word gaps, and then studio sound. You could build out a template for that and then just give it to every single video that you do. And then again, just getting all that done.
And what's cool about this too is we actually posted this video 5 days ago without making any of these changes, without improving the audio, without removing the filler words. And it has 800 views in 5 days on this. How old is this channel? I have 27 subscribers.
Not
We just
very
started
old.
it a month ago. 800 views. If you have even a 1% conversion rate from that to just leads, that's 8 leads. And it took us, I mean, that video's what, 10 minutes long? We did no processing. Yeah, 18 minutes long. So you can see the ROI very clearly. And that's without even polishing or using a lot of the AI tools. We were able to do that.
Yeah, and this video, because it's a long form video, it can go on basically any platform almost. It can go on Facebook, YouTube. You can turn it into a podcast and put it on something like Spotify and then share it across all the other podcast platforms. So very easily, just having this one long form video, even though it is just the same video, it's going across so many platforms that it becomes almost like 5 to 10 pieces of content. And that's not even accounting for the fact that there's all these tools now like Opus Clip or whatever that can take a long form video and then turn it into, let's just say, 20 to 30 clips that you can then post as shorts and whatever across platforms.
Also not accounting for how we often preach that you just turn these into articles and then post them on your blog, which we'll show here shortly.
And so a lot of the times you have to wait. So let's just say you used any other editing tool. You'd have to wait or use an outside transcription tool to get the transcript for a YouTube video, because YouTube does do it, but you have to upload it and all that. But because Descript is already doing it, what we can do is we can just copy this. This is a transcript of the video, and then bring it over to ChatGPT. So we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but these are like almost agents. They're called custom GPTs. How many of you guys have experimented with custom GPTs? That's pretty good. Yeah, so as we were saying, it was a lot less the last time we were doing this, like 5 months ago, so that's great.
There's no one who's ever heard of it. So.
That's crazy. So what these are, for those who don't know, is basically ChatGPT, but you give it specific instructions. So what we do a lot of the time is, over the years, Dennis has been in the industry probably like 30, 35 years. He's built all these SOPs and stuff like that. And so for each of those SOPs on whatever a task or whatever it may be, we can give it to a custom GPT, and then that custom GPT becomes the best worker at doing that thing. And so the one that we use the most, just because it's the easiest, but as you can see, we have other ones for website audits, weekly MAA, which is the report that we send out to all our clients. But we're just going to use Jennifer. And we name them because we want people to think of them as like employees and people to work alongside instead of just give this to them and have them do it. And what we're going to do is give it the transcript, and then again, start a voice message. And we're going to show you guys, a dictated voice message, so that we can show you guys not only how to get the quick raw output, but then also how to edit it from there. All right, so this is a video of Jack and Dennis. Actually, I'll let Jack talk about this video because I wasn't there, but we're going to turn it into an article. Jack, just give a little bit of context on the goals of this.
Yeah, whatever you think is the key points and key lessons from that video, you can just excerpt for a title and then build upon that title what you think fits best with what was spoken about in that video.
We want to post this on High Rise Influence under Jack's name, so write it from his perspective. He's one of the people speaking within the video, and yeah. And normally, if we were just using regular ChatGPT, we'd give it a lot more context on some of the goals that we want to achieve within it, but this custom GPT already has all of that like in its memory, so a lot of that isn't even necessary. And so, of course, it's going to give us quick output. We can already tell it's not that great. It's already a lot of bullet points, a lot of emojis, stuff like that. And that's partially our fault for not giving it a ton of context. But instead of going through and rewriting this entire thing, or just getting mad at it or whatever, what I like to do, and what we preach about, is instead of trying to just have it like regenerate it over and over again, focus on the specific parts of it that you want to see. So we can just skim through this. And I like to almost read it while I talk to it. And so we can just start at the top. All right, so first things first, we never want to include emojis in our blog posts. That's just not necessary. There's a lot of bullet point lists in here, so let's clean those up and turn them, not the entire thing into a bullet point list, but more so into paragraphs and just generally just more information.
As well as we can take the M dashes out and most of the AI isms, it's not this, it's that, and the fluff related to AI writing.
Yeah. I did just realize this is actually the grading down here. So it does grade it as well, and you can see like an objective measure, just like within the knowledge graph with the confidence score, you can see as it moves up and gets better by its standards. Because even though it has those standards, for some reason it still struggles to get them the first time and you have to go through it and say, you know this, but it's at a C, so let's get it up. And you can just keep on grading it through that. But as you can see, this already looks a lot better. It's got a lot more information. There's probably some AI hallucinations in here and stuff like that, as I'm sure you guys have experienced. But already we've gotten to this point. And once you get to a point that you're happy with, you can then take this content piece and turn it into promotional posts for LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you want to share that video out, because that's part of the promoting stage as well.
And now with agentic AI, you can actually get the AI to take this article, right, once it's finished, post it where it needs to be posted onto your website, and take the video that we just optimized and processed and turn that into shorts and post it to all your social channels without having to do it yourself.
Yeah, so we're actually going to show you guys that. We saw it a little bit yesterday, but that was mainly within Atlas. And so this is an example from the actual just regular ChatGPT. How can I pull up like login information without showing everything?
Maybe we just want to tell them and then ask for questions.
As you guys can see, it's setting up its own browser here. It would do basically what it did within Atlas, except within its own browser instead of taking over yours. And so you can have all these things running at the same time. And so what you would do is jump into take over here and then put in login information. And then you guys just saw it pull up this by itself. So you can imagine, oh, actually,
The login was saved.
it's already logged in. So we'll just have it go ahead and post that article. I should be speaking to it. I don't know what I'm doing. But as it does that, we can take some questions if you guys want. Whatever you guys are struggling with, the content factory, knowledge graph, knowledge panels, how this applies to you, whatever you guys have.
So I guess my question is like, all the Atlas last night. I did my
Do we have an enterprise account? I believe?
I can't remember what the specific term is, but within our company, we have an enterprise account that like everyone is on. Is that the 15 a month one?
I'm pretty sure we pay for tokens. Yeah, at a certain point, you have to, with the amount that we use it, it has to be on-demand usage. So personally, we use tokens.
Yeah, as it moves towards a more credit-based system, it does get a bit more expensive on our end, because for a while you could do a lot at like the $15 a month one, but it is definitely getting more difficult. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
absolutely.
Sometimes I make little graphic Canva and use that.
Yeah.
And this should be an easy question. But I like the tool where I can just upload that and say make me 10 other versions. Do you know a good tool?
I think Canva you can do some style pasting, and I'm pretty sure there's an AI, like, you can create different models of that, like different inspirations of that, with the AI plugin that Canva has.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I'm not super familiar.
I think there's some sort of Canva, like either connector or custom GPT or something like that. I don't know if you have to buy it or you just have to download it or something like that.
ChatGPT doesn't do that? Like if I upload a picture, make me some version?
It can try, but I've found that the image generation, specifically within ChatGPT, isn't like super great at graphics like that. Like sometimes it'll put the same word like 3 times, like just weird stuff like that. So I probably wouldn't use ChatGPT specifically for that. But you could be within Atlas or something like that and then say, while I'm working on something else, how about you make 10 more versions of this?
Atlas will do that on the Canva website?
I'm sure it would, yeah.
So I would try this. In ChatGPT, there's this little, like you can see explore here. You can explore all the GPTs. So I just searched Canva on here. And so I think you'll be able to type into the box exactly what you want. You could either paste a picture of the graphic that you liked before that you created. And then I bet it would probably be able to spin up like 5 to 10 new ones for you, inspired by the first one.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I have the $20 a month ChatGPT level that is. There's a higher level though that gives you connectors. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think custom GPTs are definitely included in the $20 a month one though.
Yeah, I do use them, so that's all we're talking about here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that I don't use the connectors that much.
I haven't used connectors too much either, but as with the new update, ChatGPT is doing a lot more with like other businesses now, even like Uber and stuff like that. They're just getting ingrained into everything. So I'm sure if this isn't able to do that, it should be able to very soon. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Curious to know what my story.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you do?
I'm a sales coach.
Cool, cool.
What's your name?
First name Rob, and the last name is Triggs, Triggs.
Perfect.
Like that? Okay. This you? Yeah, so you got a 24. That's like, the thing is, like a 24 might look low, but it's really not bad at all because that's like the level you can claim it at. So as long as you can claim it, like that's the big thing. And then from here on out, you can just keep on doing things to improve that score. So yeah, you should definitely use our tool. Any of you can just look up Blitz Metrics Knowledge Graph or Knowledge Graph Explorer, and then this should show up.
And I'd be happy to help you after this, Rob.
I need help to build. Like you guys are posting videos and getting all that stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'm not doing. I got lots of videos.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the one thing that we do want to make clear is obviously we were talking about this in terms of the kids or the young adults that are doing this for their parents' local service businesses, but this applies to literally everyone. Like even conferences like this are a great opportunity as you're connecting and meeting other people to interview them and make videos with them and then build out that topic wheel and repurpose that everywhere. That's great.
Yeah, we created this training because we saw a lot of people like you, Rob, where maybe they do have kids or they have someone young in their life who wants a job in some sort of, that they can actually put on their resume. They want to create some value, but the parent or the business leader, they're too busy to manage and repurpose all this content. So it's a natural arbitrage that and it's also just a passion of us to be able to help people our age get into what we do because we love it and we think many other people would love it as well. So it's a great program.
I think we just have a couple more minutes, but any last questions? Anyone else want their name looked up?
Yeah, looks like mine now.
Shane Clark, perfect.
Is that right? Like that? Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, not this one. You do have a bit more competition, but it's definitely still doable. Because again, most people just don't claim theirs, so it's not a very well-known thing. But
Look up Dennis's square.
Dennis actually doesn't show up in this tool for some reason. I've messed around with this a lot, and I do think Trump is actually the highest.
He's 47,000.
Yeah. Which doesn't really make a ton of sense given history, but I don't know. I can't believe there isn't anyone else, but he is
got a lot of content.
He is the highest in here right
I've
now.
never checked mine. Can
Yeah,
definitely.
what's your name?
my name's Anthony Hill.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, you're up to. Oh wait, this isn't. My bad. Clicked on the first one.
Anthony Hillbilly.
Here it is. Do you have this claimed, Anthony?
Oh, Anthony.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
Perfect. That's great.
Good work. Okay, thank you guys so much for having us. We had a blast, and I hope you were able to take something away from it.
Yeah. Thank you.